So moving on, we have the next speaker. Super excited about this gentleman here, Erkin Özay. I hope I said that right. All of you know our next speaker is the Associate Professor and Chair of Department of Architecture at the University of Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning. And Erkin brings deep commitment to rethinking how our cities and institutions can better serve our communities. His work explores how design can respond to today's urban challenges. Please give a warm welcome to Erkin. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Janine. Thanks to Kaylee and the whole foundation for inviting me. I'm the chair of architecture in this lovely, privileged building, Hayes Hall. It's built in 1874, and it was built as the Erie County Almshouse, now serving as our home. But today, I don't want to talk about that building. I want to talk about these three annexes in the back. There are sort of sheds. These are the Hayes annexes in the middle of the South Campus, featuring many distinctive buildings. These one-story sheds sit like banana peels taped to a canvas edged with gilded frame. The nice front always needs an awkward back. There are examples of this. This Royal Crescent, we love to hate these sheds, but we can't do without them. They remind me of the messy collection of improvised editions in this lovely Royal Crescent building in Bath, England. Business in the front, party in the back. So where do they come from, these South Campus sheds? In the 1960s, when University of Buffalo became part of SUNY and off was replaced with an at, SUNY dropped 13 of these academic barnacles. They were meant to be temporary solutions to the needs of the new institution, but nothing lasts longer than a temporary solution with utility. Most of these are 60 feet wide, single-span steel sheds that are somehow impossible to photograph properly. I'm a big fan of this earnest attempt by our UB facilities. The sort of the nondescript, low-res nature of this photograph is a true gem. But one of the biggest ones were just taken down in 2022, now replaced by a meadow, actually. Now over 50 years old, a few of these still remain on campus, despite renewed plans to take them down in an imminent future, which never arrives. No one wants to defend them, and yet they keep winning. It is true that on their face value, they could be considered some of the ugliest objects in the campus, but I am not sure whether they're truly ugly. Ugly is in your face, ugly is coming to get you. As this fantastic photo by Will Becker actually shows, they are humble servants. They don't need you to like them. And unlike those haughty buildings, these sheds are full of surprises. A shed is amazing because unless you go into them, you never know what you will find. This is why we always precede the word shed with a qualifier: garden shed, tool shed, bike shed. Yeah, the adjective rushes to rescue the noun. Why can we do this? Because the shed doesn't care. If you can't fit in it, the shed doesn't mind what you put in it. It is so modest and unassuming that it would not mind if a student has to pop the ceiling to fit their model. The annex is not failed architecture. It is a pedagogical shed. Because architects recognize this potential, the shed is an important model. British architects were particularly good at building sheds. Architects also invented descriptors to indicate that their sheds were better than the dumb shed: intelligent sheds, resilient sheds, decorated sheds. But the shed is so modest, it does not need branding. You could just give it a number and a letter, and it is just fine. The shed does not mind that you think it is ugly and you share its embarrassing B-roll photos with the whole world, because the shed knows it is all about how you look at it. And good architects know the value of the shed and can decide what to reveal and what to tune down to make the shed look good. As in the example of this amazing exhibition put together by one of our students a while back, who converted our annex into an incredible high-end space worthy of a red rope and bouncer entry. But it is as if the shed waits for us to ask the right question or make that first move to break the ice. Although it is unassuming, like a cheap romantic comedy, once the glasses come off, you begin to see the shed differently. It never wanted to become a palace, only to be seen for who it is. In the recent UB Resilient Campus competition organized by our school, this architectural practice from Germany showed the shed that showed the love it deserves. They showed that underneath that battered, tough shell, there's a beautiful structure that wants to be taken seriously. Because we have so many of them, big box stores being giant sheds, architects and communities need to learn how to ask more of these buildings. Cities are finding inspiring new uses for these humble structures, like this Texas library in a former Walmart. The shed is rarely the problem. The program and the brief usually is. And sheds are vulnerable to problematic briefs, especially if you ask them the wrong questions. The recent government effort to purchase these structures to use them as detention centers is a good example of what could go wrong in a shed. No shed wants to become a hostile shed. Speaking of hostile architecture, just last week, our president referred to this behemoth as essentially a shed. In this case, perhaps a decorated shed, proof that even a shed can turn ugly, even hostile, when dressed for power. But let's not get caught up in that and focus on what makes sheds better. In my case, students, learning, great colleagues, and joy of creating meaningful things in and around them. I hope we find a way to keep our sheds happy, because we could all use more modesty and less hubris in our lives. Thank you.
Wow. Erkin, I think we found our word for the evening. It is, say it with me, shed. The first word. There's probably more words. Thank you, Erkin, for sharing that with us and the critically thinking of architecture as it relates to sheds. I will think of my personal shed at home very differently from this day forward.